If I wasn't in the rap game, I'd probably have a key knee deep in the crack game. Because the streets is a short stop. Either you're slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot.
We here, Common Denominator. Want y'all to enjoy this right here. I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves. I was gonna introduce you, but I'm gonna let y'all kick it off. Let the audience know who you are, what you're doing. Justin, we can start with you.
Bet. Justin Drummond, entrepreneur, president of SparkC, LLC, and president of Executive Company.
Jimmy Jenkins, I'm a writer, director, producer, and entrepreneur.
Don't skip me. Where are you?
Azel Hail Prather, comedian, host, entertainer, president of the Hail Zel Show.
Davy J Abraham, CEO of the Lunch Table Blogshow, DJ, host, all that good jazz.
So fellas, as I explained to some of y'all a little earlier, man, I wanted to bring y'all together to share, everything that y'all bring to the table with our peers and with our community. Before the Lunch Table and Davy J, before the Hail Zel Show, before all the hosting, before Black Boy Blues, before Sinners Wanted, and Justin, before Spark. I've known all of y'all since we were probably like middle school age. I pretty much known all of y'all. We weren't doing nothing but playing basketball, playing football. So this is before everything that everybody knows you for now. Before all of that. So I wanted to talk about, man, how did we go from there to where y'all are at now? Any one of y'all feel free to take it first and run with it.
When the ball stopped bouncing, usually I figure it out. I mean, for a long time, I know for me, I held on to it, the thing like, when you play in high school, you play in college, and then you don't know nothing else for real, so you hold on to it, but then reality hit like, yeah, bro, you gotta do something. The ball ain't there no more.
You played college ball though, so how was figuring out what the hell you gonna do with your life?
That's different. I mean, that's you do it every day. You wake up, you go work out, you go to practice, you go to class, you go back. It's what you know. You just got to figure out something else. Be in love with the game, be in love with the process, but still when they tell you have something to fall back on, how they always tell you when you're young, you have to have something. That's what they mean. Have something that you genuinely enjoy, that you genuinely love doing, and put that same work ethic and that same passion that you put into basketball into that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was different for me because I found my identity through basketball. Mm-hmm. So it was something that you identify. Oh, you know him. Oh, the who? Oh, basketball, David. Like that. So you start, getting that, and then when it stops, it's weird because. It's like, well, who am I now? Not like who am I, but seriously, who am I now?
Reinvent your whole.
What do you do? Reinvent your whole who you are, who you introduce yourself as, all that, and not going from that, being able to wear your warm up around school, and then you not having a warm up, and you like, oh, I'm just the teacher's not going to show me the same love. The school don't automatically open doors for you, so it was just definitely a culture shock, trying to get back into being a regular student again, not getting those privileges.
Yeah, man. When I was going through college, I actually started understanding this a little earlier. Once I was about a sophomore, I was good too. I had a good potential to play professional, but I understood that I gotta start planning that foundation beforehand. I did.
You good. Y'all was
So when I was in college, a lot of people looked at me crazy when I started my business my junior year. Probably the best season that I've had.
All right,
When I was in school, man, starting my business, some people kind of looked at me a little crazy. But I kind of knew the foundation I was building after college. And, I kind of learned from other people's mistakes, other people not preparing after school or not preparing before school. You can't start preparing once the ball stops bouncing. You got to start preparing before it stops bouncing. And that's something that I took that's helped me transition, from basketball to entrepreneurship.
I know you had a long career.
At Flowers. Come on. First of all, I played college sports. I might have played at a small school, but I started as a freshman. I did my thing. But the key thing I think that what sports does, even though everybody can't make it, sports teach you a lot of important disciplines.
Talk about
it teaches you what it means to be responsible. It teaches you what it means to work with other people. And I think that why so many of us, especially these guys here, have been able to flourish in what they're doing is because sports was able to set that foundation. For us growing up as kids, we had to practice on something every day. So now when we transition to that, what do we work on every day now? Like it was no question. Every day at 3 o'clock, we had basketball practice. Now every day we know we got to work on this dream. Every day we know we got to work on this idea. And I think that's how we got to where we are now. And I think that, people always say, have a backup plan. And that's smart. Growing up, you have a backup plan. But at this point, it ain't no plan B. It's only one plan you should be working on. If you're doing any other plan, you wasting your time. So I think we all figured out we got plan A, and that's the only plan we got.
But see, I had no idea. Like, the only reason why I didn't major in sports management in college is because it wasn't offered. So I said, all right, I'm a major in marketing. But I didn't know, I wasn't interested in nothing else. To be honest, to this day, I'm really still not really interested in much else other than basketball. But I was forced to, I was forced to do something else.
You gotta be money.
Like, my question for y'all is, like, at what point did you know that you wanted to get into hosting and DJing and starting a talk show? Or when did you know that you wanted to host? Or when did you know that you had a gift for, script writing and playwriting and directing movies? And, like, when did that hit y'all? Like, man, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
And after I broke my foot and I, kept trying to play on it, I would ice and heat it. One day I was just sitting there like, this ain't it. It just ain't it, bro. Like, I don't want this. Like,
but when was this?
This was like 21 when I first got to Tulsa. And I was trying to, still, pursue.
You were still chasing?
Yeah, I was still chasing. I was working out every day. But once I realized, my body just is not cooperating, and, the doctor was like, do you want to play with your kids? And that's when they're like, whoa, play with my kids? Like, if I keep going on it, I'm not going to be able to run and chase. Like, that really gives you a set, this is real life. Yeah, it's real life. And then also the money. Like, I realized I'm hooping every day. I'm not going to work. I'm hooping every day. I'm not studying. Like, you have to eat. Where you going to eat from? So I think that's when it really hit me, you got to do something else. And, that's when I had done a lot of media stuff in high school. My older brother did media. He did sports talk for Tulsa and all that stuff. And I kind of just watched it, that's cool. And I started getting into it. And then after that, it was another passion that I never had taken upon until then. But everything happens for a reason. I feel like if I didn't, everybody wants that dream when you're younger, I'm gonna make it league, I'm gonna be on TV. But there's other ways to get that same attention and respect for yourself other than basketball. But I think the one thing basketball definitely taught me, personally, was to actually see what hard work did, firsthand. If I shoot 100 shots in the game and you see the translation between the 100 shots that you took and see it actually happen in the game, you're like, whoa, it works. Hard work actually works. And I think after that, dawned upon me, everything else kind of just clicked. So you actually keep working on being consistent or something.
That's word. That's word.
I just want to say, that stood out to me because you said it was something that it was a passion that you had that you never even really prior to that, you had never really even dabbled into it. And I think that's important. A lot of us out here, there are things that we might not even know that we're really good at. But it's you so one-track minded, so focused, ball is life. Oh, shorty, come. No, I'm good. I gotta go hoop. I gotta get better. I'm hitting it 1,000 shots. And it's you never even entertain what else you may be really good at. You might have a gift at something else, or you might be passionate about something else. But it takes you to, it might take somebody like an older brother or a mentor your teacher that's actually cool, like he hip to put you on to something that you might also be interested in. It might take, your big brother taking you to A Sinner's Wanted or, Black Boy Blues, and then introducing you to the producer of the whole joint after the fact and being like, man, like that's cool. That might be something that I could get interested in. Go ahead, you want to say something?
I don't think it's such a bad thing to be so, because I was super like indulged in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was like 5 in the 5 in the morning, the track workouts, all that. For real, I mean, and that's just what it was. I was just all the way.
You supposed to be.
All the way. And I ain't think about like it was nothing else I wanted to do. I didn't want to do nothing else. And then it's like for me, so then I'm hanging around all hoopers. So I'm hanging around, and these are people who get paid. You know what I mean? And I'm leaving work early. You know what I mean? I'm leaving work early to go work out with y'all. Or like I'm hurting at work the next day because I was out with y'all, or I went and worked out, which I'm like, it started not to add, it didn't add up. It really won't add up.
You're not going to
They wake up, they work out, they eat, they work out, they go out. I'm like, wake up, work, leave work, go work out with them, eat, go out with them, then wake up.
You're
I'm
trained.
Like, exactly. I'm like, bro, this is real life. And then the way I like this, the passion is more like I was already doing it anyway. Mm-hmm. Like, so in high school, I was already hosting events. I was hosting the class nights. Mm-hmm. I was hosting the talent shows. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was there. I just didn't look at it as something that I can actually like pursue. It was just like, it was almost like a hobby, I just did it naturally. It was like, hell, I'll pay you to let me do that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I want to. Yeah. Then it turned into it. Once it clicked for me, once I seen like, oh, you can get some bread. Like, this is a thing. Like, you can eat off of that. And then now it's like, I really see it now. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, but thank you, basketball.
Right.
I mean, that's how I know a lot of people. That's how.
The network. That's what it is for me.
The network is crazy.
I can imagine. Like, because I do know a lot of people in this area, and I think the root and the stem of it, like I said at the beginning, like it's through basketball. I don't have not one male friend that I ain't meet through hooping. Yep. Whether we played on the same team, played in the same league, played against each other, Bowie Gym. We all playing in the same men's league now, 15 years later. So yeah, no, definitely it is. It definitely brings good. You were gonna say something earlier, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much had the same experience. When I grew up, I loved safety. I mean, I was always about making sure my doors was locked, alarms on, stuff like that. And that was kind of something that I was interested in. I was as a young boy, but of course, basketball kind of overshadowed that. But now it kind of manifests itself with me starting a security company, my company SparkC, and I'm kind of right in my element now as I grow and as a professional. And, a lot of things that I learned playing basketball, man, it's definitely made that passion a lot stronger and, taught me a lot of qualities to make sure it happens too. So,
Jimmy, how'd you get into the industry?
I had got hurt in college, and I just started to weigh my options. I'm like, okay, even if I did make it to the NFL, I might play a couple years, or make you might make a couple $1 million, but at the same time, I looked at people that were playing professional and what were they doing after their careers. I wanted to figure out what I can do until I'm 70.
You looked at that at a young age?
At a young age, yeah. Now, like, what can I do till I'm 70? I don't want to spend 6 years.
How old were you?
I was 18 when it happened.
That's different. I sure wasn't 18.
But I mean, like, because for me, this is what happened. It really came to me when I was 6 years old. No, when I was 7 years old. I'm gonna tell you what happened. When I was 7, I had a lady who used to help my parents take me to school because my parents were really involved in the church. Her name was Miss Tammy. And we was driving one day, and Miss Tammy told me, she said, Jimmy, you're so lucky. I would do anything to go back to the 2nd grade. And when she told me that, she's like, when you grow up, life is just, you have to go to work. And I said, listen, I hated work. I hated school so bad. Like, I dreaded it. Like, I used to, like, when I used to have to wake up in the morning the night before thinking about going to school the next morning was the worst. That's the worst feeling, even to this day, that I had in my life. And for this lady to tell me as an adult that she wishes she can go back to 2nd grade, I didn't want my life to be like that. And I felt like getting out of school is like, I'm finally going to be free. Yeah. I'm finally going to be, but it was, to a lot of people, as I grew up, it was, once you got out of school, that's where you got locked up. And for me, I was so afraid of that. And I always thought, when I grow up, I'm going to do what I want to do. And when I was a freshman in college, I was playing, I was going to practice and all that stuff. And it felt like I had to wake up at 6 o'clock to go practice with the football team. I had to go to practice again. I was like, man, I don't want nobody telling me.
You have no autonomy in your life.
I don't want nobody to tell me what I had to do. You're not going to tell me I have to go do this at 6 a.m. I didn't. And at 18, I said, listen, if I don't do something now when I graduate college, I'm going to have to get a job. And that was my biggest fear. Getting a job and it'll make me feel like I'm at school again. Mm-hmm. And at 18, I said, I'm going to write a play. I wrote my first play while I was in school in Chicago. I was on like a scholarship to play football. I gave up my scholarship to come home. I went to Salisbury and state tuition to start my company. Every weekend in school, all the kids would party. Mm-hmm. I would drive home 2 hours to have play rehearsal. I did not stay in college one weekend. Zell will tell you.
So what was your boys saying in school? Because I know the girls and folks that you were around, you got like your boys had stuff to say, like, dude, you going home? Like, we about to go, like, come on, for it's a party, we about to go get lit, or
they after a while, the beginning they did that. After a while, they knew that Jimmy gone.
But how did you deal with that? How did you deal with that though? Like, how did you deal with that peer pressure? Like, all right, I stay.
It was easy for me because I knew I didn't want to be like them when I graduated. It was so easy. I was like, listen, y'all. And y'all don't get it. Yeah. You don't get it. You gonna be, and even if all those friends, down they have to go, like they don't seem, I mean, I'm not saying they're not happy, but they living a life I didn't want to live. Mm-hmm. So I knew, I said, if I don't make something happen in college, I'm gonna be stuck. Yeah. Because then I'm gonna have to work to get some money. And I didn't care. Like, I didn't care about no parties. I knew what it felt like to get drunk. I knew what it felt like to have sex. I knew what it felt like to smoke weed. I knew what that felt like. I knew what it felt like. I mean, it's true. That's true. It's true. I knew what it felt like, but I also did not know what it felt like to have a whole lot of money in my pocket. And that's what I wanted to feel. Yeah. And I didn't want to go, man, I don't care. I didn't want to make $150,000 a year. I wanted to go make 1.5,
talk to him, man. Talk to him, bro.
And, you know, and that's just the path I'm still on.
Okay, so for me, it's like for the youngins whose lives that we touch and that we impact. Like, I've done some coaching. I feel like I've seen a few of y'all do some coaching, do some mentoring. Zell and Dave, y'all are teaching. What do you say? What do youngins coming up after us have to be prepared for if they have the same mentality? Like, look, man, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, some people say school ain't for me. School ain't for everybody. And then you got those that say, man, look, getting a job 9 to 5, it ain't for me. Like, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. But as y'all know and y'all can speak to it, it's not that easy to just, you don't just say, all right, I'm gonna start a brand and it's gonna be that. Like, man, speak about it. Like, what goes into it as far as the sacrifices, as far as you being the CEO, the secretary, the driver, the accountant, you doing the marketing manager, the social media manager, the advertiser, you doing everything. Like, talk about it. Like, what do they really gotta be prepared for if they wanna be an entrepreneur and have their own brand?
And I feel like when you are an athlete, you do get special kind of attention. Like, everybody knows you get special. Yeah, you get special love. So I think that hinders them so much. Wow, so much more than I think you see when you're there. Like, you cheating on a test, or you getting extra time, or you getting, you know, it doesn't prepare you for after the ball stops. For life. And it's scary. Like, study habits carry you from whatever, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, especially in college. Like, high school, you might can cheat, you know, get a little high school. College, no. Like, if you don't have study habits, you're just not gonna pass. Mm-hmm. So I think that is one of the main things that I wish I could have told, you know, a younger person or just a younger self, is to get your study habits down now, because school really is important. Like, you got hurt, I know people say that, and I think because people think it won't happen to them, they don't take it serious. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you get hurt in high school, doctor, you can't play no more, what are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. You know, and people don't think that until it happens. So I think that is a major thing that we should start, you know, trying to get our athletes to understand. It's not even the actual, I'm trying not to escape from what I'm trying to get at, but it's not the actual study habits. It is a study habit, but it's the discipline that the study habits create. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's like the discipline that the study habits have created that are now giving you time to focus on a task other than basketball. Yeah. And I think that is one of the main things that we miss telling younger kids, period.
Yeah. And also, man, to follow up on what David said, and you know, entitlement is one of the things that you kind of get as a basketball player, but as an entrepreneur, don't nobody care.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
None.
That's real.
I mean, nobody cares if
You ain't waiting.
business.
You ain't waiting in line at the club when you on the basketball team.
Ain't nobody out here looking to give away money. I mean, I'm sure you get that, especially Jimbo. Ain't nobody out here just looking to give away money. So it's like that level of entitlement, man. We kind of hold on to that, and that honestly stops us from actually probably, you know, taking that leap of faith and chasing the dream or entrepreneurship. Or you know, just looking at life from a normal perspective. Because once you off that court and take off that jersey, you just as normal as the dude that was watching you. So you know, kind of that piece is big. That we make kids understand that from high school, man. Mm-hmm. And another thing is, man, kids, you know, especially athletes, but college kids in general, you gotta starting businesses in college, man. I mean, one of the things that helped me is like it takes about 2 years to start really making money. You know, start really making money. So when you're in school, you ain't got no expenses. You can live for free. You got food, you know, so use the platform to build. So when you get out, you actually have clients, you have experience, you know how to present yourself, because it takes time to get a business off the ground.
I was talking to one of my boys, and he brought up a good point. He was saying how, like, athletes, especially when you're at one of those big schools, you have access to so many powerful, influential people because you're on that platform. You know how many members of the alumni club and the donors and the folks you know, donating money to the athletic program and funds, and you got these different events and you're rubbing shoulders with all these different. They want to meet you because you the star at Maryland. And it's like those are the but it's a small window. It's a small window because if you don't take advantage then to start building some relationships, building your network, getting some business cards, attending some different events, man, they not thinking about you in 2 years because the next top 10 prospect in you know whatever NBA draft is at their school now, and it ain't the same. But it's like a lot of guys don't take advantage of that, and then it's not until like they 3-4 years removed from school they're like, hey man, remember me? I hit the 3-pointer against Carolina. Nice to see you. Anyways, so
it's like. I think, but when you in that, I think it's so important to exactly what you said, like make those connections and build those relationships. But like just genuinely, like for me, in my school, I know while I was there, I made like you knew who I was on the court, off the court. You knew who I was. Like my character. I think that's another big thing. Is like just character. Like I think we got to make sure that they know like these people watch after too. Like my school call me every year. They pay me to come host a golf tournament. They can love you as a basketball player all they want, but once you can't do nothing for them, do they still love you? Do the game still love you? Do they still want you there? It's like what you good? What are you really good for? So while you're there or while you're in there, like use that platform. Like let them folks know, like I'm here. I do this. Like I'm a good person. Like your character goes a long way. If you got good character and good like values, they'll believe whatever you're trying to do. They'll believe in it and they'll go with it. They with you.
I want to know, like even for our peers, even outside of basketball, I know through experience, it's a grind, man. Like building a brand and building a platform and getting people to take you seriously. Or like Jimmy, when you had, I remember when you had the Black Boy Blues at Flowers and you was selling out shows, like. That stuff ain't easy. Like somebody could chalk it up and be like, man, all you do is get on a mic and tell jokes. That's easy. I could do that. Or, you know, even a youngin might look at it like, man, look, if he could do that, I could do it. It ain't nothing to it. Or David, you know, all you do is interview people and you post stuff on Instagram like the Shade Room does. I could do that. So what is it really like behind those scenes, getting to the point that you're at now where you're able to have consistent success?
All they see is that little clip. All people see is like the 10-second lit clip, the 1 minute like lit clip. Like I remember when Jimmy first started the plays and we was, trying to get people to buy tickets. We driving around meeting people at this place, strangers meet people at this place. Like, come on, we gonna practice outside of this place so people can see us doing it. Ask us what we doing, and then we gonna get them to buy tickets like that. Like, all right, look, you get this many tickets, you get this many. If you sell this many, you get this. Like nobody knew how we was like. Hustling just to get people into Flowers High School to fill a little auditorium or whatever. Like nobody don't, even with the Hail Zel Show, I've been doing it. I had to look back and see like when I started it. I was like, dang, it been that long for when it's like 3 people in there. And I'm gonna do it.
And you could have quit. You could have quit. You could have quit. Like, man,
like,
it was a good idea, but they ain't really fooling with it, bro. I gotta think of something else.
Some weeks it's up and some weeks it's down, and it's like, damn. And I be on that, but I have to do it. Like, I have to do it anyway. But because I do it, and because of consistency, because I do it every single Thursday, because I do it all the time, they know what's coming. They look for it. Now it's like something happened. They look for it. They come in and, hey, can you do this? Hey, oh, I didn't know you do this. Can you host this? So
you had an opportunity for the game show joint that you do too.
It just off. I'm saying the live. It bring people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you sound like you be good on this. Hey, do you host this? Hell, I'll do it all. Baby shower, like whatever. Just because I'm there. No other reason, but because I just sat there and did it. Yeah. So if you just do it, you know what you never know what's coming out. You do a play, you fill up an auditorium. You feel what I'm saying? Like you do an event. You fill up the whole place. You speak somewhere. Somebody want your business. It's just you just got to do it. Yeah, bad jump. not good at all.
not doing good alert.
Not at all. Jumbo was there.
Did you tell him it was trash?
What? You don't have to tell him.
No, you ain't have to tell him.
No, you let him know. The host, listen. When I was on that jump, my jumps was on the plan, and the DJ started to play. How do
Wow.
Let's go. I'm like, hey, you like that? Yeah, and that joint, I ain't gonna hold you. I probably took the stage for a minute after that.
Yeah, that hurt you.
Yo, it hurt. That joint hurt. It do.
I ain't making a fool of myself.
It just didn't go as planned. But then it's like,
but you're not gonna put that on Instagram.
Exactly.
But you're not gonna put you getting booed off the stage. You're not posting.
Now people don't post that, and it ain't no shame in not posting it. But in a odd way, that's the reality though that people need to see to like one to motivate the people to
how
keep
many
going.
likes do you get though if you posted that?
He can post it now in retrospect.
You can post it now in retrospect. Your feelings ain't.
Yeah, you ain't tripping all the day. You ain't tripping all the day.
I hurt with you. I ain't ready to now. Of course, now like I mean, even when I could talk about it, ain't nothing. But during that joint,
no question. And I was sensitive. Don't let somebody joke.
He used to get mad.
Yeah, he knocking on the door like, what you need to do is be in that mirror practicing some jokes.
Yeah, me.
I be practicing right now. I'm like, annoying, bro.
We almost fought. Yeah, no question. But that's his crime.
But that's what you need though. Like too many times people get
OC already.
You be practicing your jokes. I'm like. Leave me alone, bro.
But that's real, bro. And I think, to be honest, everybody sees a certain life for themselves. But the thing is, a lot of people really don't truly believe. Because if you believe in something that makes you do certain things, like you can look at somebody's life and see somebody say, well, I want to be a doctor or I want to be a lawyer. They don't even have to be in doctor school. You can look at what they do during their daily practice and tell if they believe. Like for me, man, I believe since day one. Like my first play, Hardly Journey, we didn't have that many people there, man. If you go look at it, our set was trash. Like I still got clips of it.
We had no makeup.
We had no makeup. We had powder, baby powder to make him old. Like, but it's just like, I believe though, bro, like, and I didn't stop, you know what I mean? So the Jay-Z said the best, the genius thing we did was we didn't quit. And now I'm 7 years in, and, I'm about to come out with my first movie with a $200,000 budget, you know what I mean? I'm 7 years in, and, I just got my next budget for my next film. I'm 7 years in, and, I got Lamont Rucker, Clifton Powell, Tracy Braxton in my movie.
7 years is a long grind too. That's a long grind. When you day-to-day grinding, when you taking beatings, taking calls, getting hella no's every day. I'll catch you. Just remind me, and I'll be there. When you getting all of that, and you still going every year for 7 years.
It's not every day.
Gotta get it like now. For me, it was after college for me.
So that's what I'm saying, and that's what I be thinking. Like, imagine if you started. Imagine even if the seed was planted early. Even if the seed was planted early, or even if you started early,
it'd be different. I didn't even feel it. I didn't feel it till after college. Mm-hmm. Like literally, I was out of school. Like, let me see what I'm gonna do. Work at my aunt business. Don't want no thing, get a little money. But it's like, what are you really about to do? And when it hit you. But it's like that hit you. Yeah, but then life hit you at the same time. And then once life hit you, it's like then you a man, then you a black man. It's like what you gonna do?
Man, I had to make my decision. Because I found out I had a kid on the way. So it was, man, what?
I get you going.
It was like,
all right. Take you about 9 months.
That'll get you going. You gotta 9 months.
But it's crazy because it was almost like it was like a blessing in disguise, because if I hadn't been faced with that fork in the road, I would have definitely went overseas. I would have definitely went overseas just because that's what was ingrained in my mind from the jump. I'm like, man, I'm going to get there. Like, I'm going to get there. So to have an opportunity to go play ball professionally, put the jersey on, get on the gram, I'm here, I'm overseas, I'm traveling, seeing the world. Oh, I definitely would have done it. I definitely would have done that. And I can't even say in hindsight. Right.
We still here.
All of them. All of them. But I was forced to make a decision, like, for the long term, like what's gonna be better long term, not immediately right now to satisfy, my desires, but like on some long term plans.
Yeah, bro. Let me speak on that, because a lot of I basically, y'all see a lot of people in overseas. They're playing in like Bulgaria and like Czechoslovakia and Bosnia or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Getting nothing. There are 2 bleachers in the stands, bro. You're at the YMCA team, so it's like, why not they come here and start building that credibility now? Like a lot of people, like a lot of athletes, they come home from school. You've been out there 8 years and got no experience. Ain't got no past performance. They had no job. They all be on 2K, be chilling.
You can't do this for 20 years.
No, you can't.
So you can't. So even if you nice, and you can be nice, you can't do it for 20 years. Right. So you're gonna be 40 soon. Right. You're gonna be 50, and then what? What did you do to build something that's gonna last, that you can pass, or even that you can even hold on to?
Yeah.
You'll be 40 one day, and ain't no 40-year-old hoopers.
Nah. I think it really hits you the hardest when you need money, though.
Right.
Yeah. When you need bread, when that bread really, you know what I'm saying? When you really got bills, you got your phone bill.
Yeah, that's not
true. You know what I'm saying? That's
start hitting you.
It's like, what am I really gonna do to make money? It's real. It's real. But one thing I do want to say, though, what I want to say a little earlier, is while you are in school and you are playing basketball, you have something that you need as a leader and as an entrepreneur, is influence. Everybody has their eyes on you. Everybody's looking at what you eat. Everybody's looking at your Instagram story, what kind of character, personality you have. Take advantage of that influence that you have as a basketball player, football player, whatever, because the eyes are on you. So even if you started a paper business and you put your logo on it, everybody's gonna want that paper because it's your paper. They like you. They want to follow you. They want to be essentially you. You're an influencer. So use that influence to be a business owner then. That's the best time to do it.
David, you've gotten a lot of people to take part and play roles in the lunch table in your brand. You have a presence at a couple different universities in the area. They all have
six
exactly. 6 different universities. I mean, because I pay attention. I mean, it's like every few months, it's like, all right, now we've begun. The lunch table will now be at such and such school. Now we here. Now we there. So you got a lot of different working parts. How would you get people to believe in your brand and your vision, and to help propel it to further heights?
I mean, honestly, I think it starts with, of course, I mean, I know it sounds cheesy, but it starts with you. Like, if I was somebody that posted, me in the strip club every weekend and, me not taking my craft serious, I wouldn't want to be on somebody's team like that. It really being in charge of something. And I didn't know, I promise you, I did not know it was going to be this big when I started. I had no idea it would be, what it is. So, it really made me grow up quick to have to be in charge, not in charge, but like work with people on a higher scale like that. It made me watch what I would put on Twitter. I had it kind of, because, you got different people on your team. You got homosexuals on your team. You got obese people on your team. You got, feminists. Well, you got to watch what you say, because you can easily defend somebody, offend my fault. I was trying to offend somebody on the team. So I think that really makes you grow up so much faster.
Ruin opportunities before they even
because Twitter has everything on it. So
maybe somebody you're trying to get a meeting with, they done already seen you.
Anything I tweeted before today is not me though. I said that. My Twitter hat.
I try to look through one of them Twitter delete all joints one day. I don't know how to do it. I don't want to do it.
Don't blame.
Try to flush
blame
everything.
2012.
But media honestly is going nowhere but up. And media is like probably one of the most fast growing things in our generation. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. So that's why there's a camera right here. Everybody got their phones in their hand. Your phone's in your hand all the time. You're on Instagram. I looked at, they got the thing there on that can show you how long
your screen time.
Yeah. I'm on Instagram probably more than I'm sleeping, which is scary. I spend 2 days of my 7 days on Instagram. Ooh. That's scary, bro.
That's a drug.
48 hours. It was like 49 hours. I was like, you stop? Can you stop doing second nature? But your thumb go there and you just. I mean, when you have a business though, you're constantly on your social media page. You're constantly on. Let's try somebody that's doing that, which eventually I have nailed, but I still need my page.
But when you first start out, you do
everything.
That's why I said you doing everything.
You do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And the janitor.
You're the janitor, the coach. You're the ball boy.
So how is it as an entrepreneur because if you don't have a 9 to 5 and you're responsible for your health care, you're responsible for
that's a whole
I missed it. No. We gotta talk about it. They gotta know what they gotta face, what they gotta deal with. All they see is the post, all they see is the likes. So when you got so when you're 26, because we all millennial age, I got kicked off the joint recently. So it's health, dental, vision. If you want you put some money towards later, you got your 401k or your IRA. You got your car note, your car insurance. Don't even admit the gas. If you really on your grind and you hustling, you trying to sell tickets, you trying to recruit, you trying to do your gas.
Are you hungry?
Of course you gotta eat. Yeah, are you hungry?
Did you get hungry?
Is the Lunchable gonna do it? Or so
and then the date.
Yeah, then you know what I mean. You don't want to be lonely.
I'm grateful for females when you pay for
and you
anything.
see how it is, what it caused now. Yeah, he's triggered.
He's triggered, right?
But I feel him. So what is that really like when because you grown now, you're not 15, you got bills, and if you live on your own, you got rent, it adds up. So if you're gonna take that route and you're gonna be an entrepreneur and you're not gonna get your job, what's that hustle like?
Hey, sacrifice, bro. I had to eat off Little Caesars for a minute once I got home. I just didn't have. That was my budget. $5 Jones. Make it last about 4 or 5 days. Yeah. When I came home, my pops wasn't with me doing this entrepreneur. He wanted me to hoop. I was like, nah, I want to do this. So it was kind of like, you ain't giving me no money, and I'm paying you your rent and doing everything I need to do. You gotta let me live. But the sacrifice came with that. Ain't going up in that refrigerator. Pretty much.
Just to hear you down there.
One of the ice cubes. Lemonade's hot.
Right. Get your own ice cube, Justin.
So, man, it was pretty much that. It was a sacrifice, man. Like, nothing comes before the goal. The goal is to get your business off the ground. You got to move money around, do what you got to do. Got to make it happen, though, man. That's how I took it.
You gonna be broke.
Can't be serious.
If you really doing it every day.
So ain't none of that flexing.
Nah.
There's no flexing, bro. Like, I went in the red. When I tell you I went in the red, like, when I first was like, all right, I made that post on Instagram, I'll never forget, I was like, I quit, I put my 2 weeks in today, I am now a full-grown entrepreneur. I felt like, yeah, let's go, let's go. I'm hungry, like that last check came in, because you put the 2 weeks in so you can get 2 more checks. Yeah. The last check, I was like, all right, I'm good. A month later, I was like, sheesh.
Them bills don't stop.
Them bills don't stop. They don't care if you quit your job or not. Like, Verizon will cut your phone off if you don't pay, period.
Now, so you got Sprint, though, you good. Sprint let you rock out.
They let you rock. My got downgraded.
But, I think what happens is, you do go broke. There's other ways to make money, but you go broke. Essentially, if you're doing it full time and you're really trying to get it up and going, you will go broke. And I think a lot of people are scared. And Justin was talking about it, are scared of that broke period. It was some things that I look back like, sheesh, like I really did that and survived. Mm-hmm. I know y'all looking at me like, what the hell? But it was like, I was donating plasma, bro.
Yeah,
$75. It was real. Like, it was real, bro. Like, it was stuff that I was, dang, like, but I survived it. And that year of my full first year of entrepreneurship, my company grew more than I could have ever imagined. It's something that, like, I will never regret. It was something that, like, we grew so much that year with departments opening up and, you know, schools like hitting other campuses, and we expanded so much. But it took that year of like really being hungry, bro. Like hungry. Like I had to change my habits. I'm a drinker. I had to stop drinking for a little bit. I couldn't afford it. Yeah. I was mad. I was like, dang, I wish I could get a drink right now. Like, who could I hit up?
Check my balance. Nope.
Like, nope. But it also made me draw closer to God too. I don't want to push you, but it does. When you hit a certain low, you really look at who's around you and you start looking for a source to reach upon, and you do draw closer to God in that process. I mean, I'm not gonna say, you know, become an entrepreneur and get saved at the same time, but it does. If you have that foundation, I think when you do include God in what you're doing, and you know, keep your morals in it, it does come with a reward at the end.
Yeah, because, man, entrepreneurship is a lonely game, bro.
It's a very lonely game.
Lonely game.
Very lonely game.
And sometimes all you got to do is believe in, you know, in God, man. You do all the work you can do, and sometimes you just got to leave.
You know what I will say? As small as the odds are of making it to the league, making it to the pinnacle of your industry and entrepreneurship, those odds aren't great either. But I think, but what brings it full circle is we've been doing this all our life as athletes. We've been developing those qualities, those habits to the point where it's a lifestyle. You know what it is to grind. You know what it is to take losses and get embarrassed. You get beat by 20 or you get booed off a stage and bounce back. This ain't your first time dealing with adversity and taking a loss. This ain't your first time having to, you know, be told no and to get better and to practice and improve and look at where you can get better in this area or that area and get better at it. So I think it brings it full circle. It's like, man, you prepared for this. Little do you know, you've been, you know, preparing for this for 15 years now. It's just you taking it from one aspect to another.